A young boy discovers his dead father, who is standing right beside him, but everyone tells him that it's his father's twin brother and that he is not his father. They also say that his father has already died. However, the boy is convinced he hasn't made a mistake and keeps calling his uncle dad every day. But each time, his uncle pushes him away and says, "I am your uncle, not your dad." Even the woman believes he looks like her husband, but her husband has already died. She can only silently accept everything and decides to raise the child alone. Until one rainy night 3 years later, he accidentally overhears a conversation between his father-in-law and his older brother, learning that the one who died 3 years ago was actually the older brother. The husband had taken on the older brother's identity to take care of his pregnant sister-in-law and had faked his death to deceive her. When she finds out the truth, she hates her husband. But she doesn't understand why. Since their marriage, her husband has always treated her well and they are considered an affectionate couple. After her husband's death, her mother couldn't bear to see them suffer and wanted to bring them back to her parents' house. But she refuses to go with her mother-in-law to the city and chooses to stay in the countryside to be a widow for the rest of her life. But she didn't expect this to be a deception. Seeing her son wake up, she hates her husband for making her son carry the name of having no father at such a young age. She now knows why her son has always called the older brother dad. It turns out children's eyes are sharp. Since this scoundrel left her to take care of another man's wife and child, she doesn't need to continue being a widow for him. Thinking about her mother's promise from when she was a child that he would marry her childhood sweetheart, she realizes that after finding out her husband was dead, he had been trying to marry her all along. And now he is a big boss. So she takes her son and asks him if he would be willing to have a new dad. Seeing how mature her son is, the woman's years of bitterness erupts. Then she goes to the next room and calls her mother in the city. When her mother hears that she is willing to marry the eldest son of the Jiang family, she is very happy. The woman decides to wait until the 3-year mourning period is over before leaving, to repay the scoundrel for saving her life. The next day, while having lunch, she sees the scoundrel acting as the father of someone else's child and loses her appetite. She tells her father-in-law that the anniversary of her husband's death is coming up and that she plans to go shopping tomorrow. The scoundrel, worried about his wife, insists on going with her. Hearing her son call him uncle, the scoundrel feels very upset. Although he was the one who told the child to call him uncle, over the past 3 years, the child still insisted on calling him dad. Now that he hears the child call him uncle, it feels like he is losing his son. Thinking about how much his wife loves him, she definitely won't leave the house. He then calms down. The next day, the woman goes to the department store and buys some wedding things. But when she leaves, the little boy finds a beautiful wedding dress and says that his mom will look even more beautiful in it. The woman thinks that after tomorrow, she will be getting married, so she agrees to wear it for her son. But when she comes out in the dress, it seems like the air stops moving around her. Even the salesperson praises her endlessly. She also feels it suits her very well, so she buys it as her wedding dress for the day after tomorrow. But when she leaves, the scoundrel and his sister-in-law also come to the department store. He then takes his son and leaves. But when he leaves, the scoundrel notices that the woman just bought a wedding dress. Thinking that his wife loves him so much, she wouldn't remarry, he assumes it's just a regular piece of clothing. Soon, the guilt-ridden scoundrel buys a new school bag for his son. The scoundrel shamelessly says that as the child's uncle, taking care of them is his duty. But the woman scoffs at him and says, "As someone else's husband and father, what would your sister-in-law do if she found out?" The angry scoundrel immediately wants to discipline him in the name of the older brother. Seeing his mother being bullied, the boy